Welcome, everyone. We're really excited to be here today with our buddies at Lottie. But first, we have a quick slides. But we're really excited to be partnering with Lottie to bring you a lot of educational information about how you can use motion design to level up your design career. But if this is your first Design Buddies event, welcome. I'm Grace. I founded Design Buddies, and full-time, I'm a product designer in the tech industry in games. And Design Buddies is a community where you level up your design career, where you can make lifelong friends. We have a lot of resources that help you improve your design. We have a lot of events, portfolio reviews, design challenges, mentorship, resources, and more. We have a lot of people on Discord and we posted a lot of events. And we also have some social media links for y'all are welcome to connect with us, and here we share more resources as well. And so just some quick rules. Events are recorded, and by attending, you grant consent. If you don't wish to be recorded, you can join us on YouTube. Feel free to engage in the chat as well, but please keep promotion towards the end and an opportunity where you can take group photos. And if any one of our speakers says something you resonate with, feel free to share on social media, tag Design Buddies, tag Lottie, tag our speakers, and to be reshared. Feel free to connect with each other towards the end as well and hop into our Discord. I'll drop all the links down below. Cool. And with that, I'll hand it over to our speakers.
Thanks, Grace. I'm just going to start sharing my screen. Okay, let's get started. So before I start, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit. I'm a designer at LottieFiles, and I started off as a graphics designer working on print ads, packaging design, and branding, and I dabbled in motion design after that. And now I'm part of the team responsible for coming up with ideas, scripts, and storyboards for launch videos and also the brand communications. So let's actually start with a fun poll. Raise your hands if you have your camera on, or tap the reaction button to answer, or you can write it in the chat. So who here has worked with motion before? It doesn't matter how intricate or simple it is. As long as it moves, it's motion. Awesome. So how about who here has used After Effects as a tool for motion creation? Very, very cool. And last one, has anybody here used any tools other than After Effects for motion creation? List them down in the chat if you have. Okay, wow, that looks like we've got a whole room full of motion designers. I hope this will be a super fun and engaging session for you guys. Before I get started, before with all the heavy stuff, let's take a look at a short video the team has prepared. Let me know if the sound doesn't work.
As humans, we are very curious, imaginative, and perceptive, always trying to capture our surroundings in different ways. The way we represented our surroundings evolved hand to hand with technology. First came the cavemen with their drawings, then paintings, photography, cinema, and now VR. In the same way, when the internet started, it had a very similar evolution. It went from rich text, CSS, images, videos, GIFs, and Lotties. Now, it is possible to add motion to the web and your apps, and translate the reality to digital. Get started with LottieFiles.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. The team really enjoyed creating this video for you guys to see. So motion evokes emotion. And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, I think an animation is worth 10 times more. So I'm sharing one of my favorite quotes from the Walt Disney. So I'm sure you guys know him as one of the guys who brought magic into our lives, like Steamboat Willie. So animation offers a medium of storytelling and visual entertainment, which brings pleasure and information to people of all ages everywhere in the world. So motion is easy to understand no matter your background. So imagine a hand wave motion to say hello, or a thumbs up to show everything is great. So it's a simple gesture, but everyone knows its meaning. So why is motion an amazing tool for storytelling? Take this image, for example. Which one looks cooler? This static one or this one with a little motion magic? Side note, I'm a massive Harry Potter fan. Any Potterheads around, send over a reaction. So I'm sure you guys are with me with this, that this one with motion is a lot cooler and a lot more fun. The world is moving towards motion, and we can see this in the evolution of multimedia assets, from stock photos in the 80s to static images in the 2000s. And now we have dynamic motion graphics today. That's what motion is. It elevates our users' viewing experiences and makes it even more interesting and engaging. It also communicates your ideas better, and in some cases, it increases conversion, sales. So for example, we scroll social media daily and say Instagram. And as a designer, I want people to take note of my designs, see my portfolio, give a like or a follow. But with users scrolling large walls of posts, I have only like 2 to 3 seconds of your time. With an animated visuals, the chances of me getting your attention is a lot higher. And this applies to brands as well. And in everyday life, your apps, your WhatsApp stickers, well, I can't remember the last time I didn't use 3 animated stickers in a row to reply my friends. The billboards you see on your ride home, even on your daily run, motion is inseparable from our lives. And as a visual designer, I work very closely to motion designers like Adrian to make my designs come to life. So let me take you on a journey on how working and collaborating within the design team works in LottieFiles. I'll try to be as detailed as I can with the time I have, but feel free to just drop any questions you have and we'll answer them in the Q&A session later. Let me just swap my screen. I hope you see my screen. So first we start with a brief. So you get to know your objectives, target audience, and why you're creating what you are creating. So this is the base of all projects and will help you make sure that your ideas are super solid and foolproof. And now I'm just going to create a mock brief. So it's going to be create an icon visual for our LottieFiles editor landing page that inspires and represents the tool itself. So now this is where the fun part begins. Research. I'll talk to stakeholders, friends, the design team, basically anyone and everyone to gather insights and thoughts on about the product and how I can position the product. And after that is the brainstorm. When I brainstorm, one of my favorite ways to ideate is through mind mapping. And I'm sure you guys can relate with me, where some days our ideas flow really easily, and some days our ideas suck so bad. So mind mapping really helps me focus my thoughts and structure it. And this helps me come up with different directions and ideas. And I like doing this with pen and paper, actually. So here is the really beautiful mind map I came up with. And I've actually pinned down a few words that I would describe for the idea and the feel I'm going for, which is fun, easy and simple, because the product is makes you feel that motion is easy to edit. Also to remember our brand colors like mint, pink, and yellow. This beam-like shape from our brand guidelines, and also movements that I'm thinking that would make the animation more fun, and also maybe an action that I would like to show. And then I'll create a mood board. So I've added keywords like motion, relatable, and loop, because I know it needs to be in motion, it's an animation, and relatable to our target audience. And I also need to make sure that the animation is in loop because it's on the landing page. And here we have the shapes here, and the colors, and also the art direction that I'm planning to go for. And also I've added this twirling motion when a person spins their pencil, because it kind of gives them a sense of fun. And I think it makes you feel that the product is easy to use and very simple. And then it's feedback time. So I'll get feedback from the team and stakeholders. This is actually one of my favorite parts. This is a test to see whether your ideas work or not, and whether you're communicating the right message. And so try to rationalize your idea in a sentence or two or three if you can. If you find it really hard to put it in words, your idea might not be as solid as you think, and you might need to go back to the drawing board. So after that, I will get started on a storyboard. Check out my sketches. It's beautiful. Here are 4 frames with descriptions on how I envision the animation to be. So frame 1, the body kind of squishes and it blinks its eyes, and we have the balls bouncing on its head, and a pencil appears and like magic out in air, and maybe the pencil spins clockwise as if a hand is spinning it. And at this point, I like to get the motion designer's opinion about the movement and how it can be better. And in this case, I've talked to the motion designer, Adrian, and he thinks that, all these movements can happen simultaneously at one go. So that's what we're going to be creating. So now I'll start drawing the design in vector. So it can be in Illustrator or Figma. In this case, I'll be choosing Figma because we're a remote company, and it helps us collaborate on the spot with stakeholders and designers and motion designers. And anybody can just click on this chat icon and just kind of give an idea. This looks great. And yeah, we can talk and chat and make sure that everybody's on the same page, and we can go from there. So right now I'm just going to create this really tough circle. Wow, that was hard. Okay, so now we're done with the design and we're ready to hand off to our teammates. So one ultra important step to do, or Adrian will have my head, is to name your layers. So start naming your layers, everybody. So let's see, group 4896, that's not what it is. So we'll just name it pencil because it's a pencil. And maybe this one, pink ball. Very creative name. So this helps the team a lot because we're exporting directly from Figma, and we want to ensure that when you hand off your files to the team, it's easy to pick up where you left off. And now this is ready for handoff. But wait, what if the deadline is tomorrow and we don't have time to, animate anything? So here's what I like to do. Here's what I like to do to save time and also get some animation inspiration really quickly. So I'll go on to LottieFiles.com. And if you don't already know, LottieFiles has got the largest animation library that is free to use. So I know as designers, we love the word free. So it's free. So what I'll do is probably type pencil. I think that's a pretty cool word. And there are a bunch of awesome animations here to choose from, and like so many pages to view. And I'm actually liking this one, so I'm just gonna pick this one. And if you notice, it's in blue. So obviously LottieFiles is mint in color as our brand color. So I might want to change the colors a little bit to suit our color palette. So I'm just going to click on this color palette function. And with this color palette function, you can create your own color palettes with your brand colors or pick from the presets. So you imagine you can change it, to different colors, but I'm just going to choose this one. So it's mint, looks like our brand, and I'm just going to upload it to my workspace. Just give it a second. Now just going to name it properly and save. So ta-da, we're ready for handoff. But wait a minute, I don't like how the socks look because it looks like it's the same color as the skin. So what I'll do is to head on to editor. And I'll click on these layers and search for his sock. There it is. So, and then I will change the color, maybe, I don't know, pink, because pink is a superior color. We'll change the other sock. And bam, we're done. Fashion is my passion. So give it some time and we can save it as a new animation. And we're done. We have pink socks. So now I'll either send it to the developers by downloading the JSON file or an optimized JSON. This is better because the file is smaller. Or if I really want to use it in my, like prototypes, I could also export it as a GIF. So that's what I'll do if we don't have a lot of time or like the deadline is really tight. So, but lucky I have Adrian on my side to make magic my creation. So over to you, Adrian.
Thank you, Kelly. I hope you can hear me okay. And yep, hi, I'm Adrian, and I'm just gonna give you a short and brief introduction about myself. I'm one of the motion designers here at LottieFiles. I actually started off as a cinematographer and a filmmaker. Prior to this, I've been in the industry for about 10 years until I decided to make that bold jump to motion designing because that was during the pandemic and I wasn't allowed to go on film. And I guess I need to eat and feed my family. So I decided to make that bold jump, and my journey has been exciting. The learning has been steep, but everything I know today is purely self-taught. So if I can do it, I'm pretty sure aspiring motion designers or animators out there, you can do it as well. The world is for you to conquer. And if I can go to the next slide. So here we have the process which Kelly has briefly named. So it's the brief, and then she goes to brainstorming, research, and sketch. And then she'll get us some feedback and see if all of that makes sense. After the feedback is good to go, vectorizing, we use Figma most of the time. And then there's another feedback process to see if the vectorized version is all right before we go into prepping the files and handing off to the motion designer, which is me. And then on to the next slide, we can see some of, so these are 12 principles of animations. Just to steal Kelly's quote earlier, named by Disney, the 12 principles of animation is what I use, or most motion designers and animators would use to make our animation a bit more lively, make our animation a bit more real with physics and stuff. So this principle was actually introduced by two people in the 80s, in the early 80s. I believe it's the early 80s. Their names are Ollie Johnston and Frank Thomas. They also wrote a book which you can find online. The book is called The Illusion of Life. So here you can see 12. I'm going to name a few: squash and stretch, anticipation. There's also easing in and out, timing. All these are crucial to make your animation and or your motion a bit more lively, a bit more real in that sense. So going on to the next slide, I'm going to be showing you how I animate the vector that Kelly has created earlier, and just to give you a glimpse of what are my process. I'm just going to take over the shared screen. And I hope you can see my screen. But before I jump straight into animating, this is After Effects. So if you're not familiar, After Effects is my go-to tool for animation. So before I jump into this, I'm just gonna show you that the internet is filled with resources which you can gather, and most of them are free. YouTube was my best friend learning motion at that time. And LottieFiles has actually a huge library of educational content, which you can also consume. And all these are free. Yeah, all these are free for you. So if you want to go check it out, Kelly will drop a link in the chat and you can go check it out. All right, so jumping straight into After Effects, and this is my workspace here. Before I animate, I'm just going to show you my composition settings. Why am I showing my composition settings? Composition settings is important because it helps. It's the window. It helps set up your file. It helps set up your file to optimize your workspace. So here you can see that I have a square artboard, 500 by 500. And I'm doing this in 60 frames. And it's less than 2 seconds in duration. Okay. And I've already did a sample animation here. I'm going to play it. So I've done the pencil twirl. I've also done the green block squishing and sort of has a pretty smooth movement, and it's also looping. But what I want to show you today is how I animate the ball. Ball animations are one of the first things I learned and studied when I started doing motion designing, because it helps me practice with some of the animation principles which I've showed earlier. So I'm just going to go straight into animating my ball here. So at the start here, you see the balls at the top, but that's not the case. That's not what I want. Oh, sorry. But before I actually animate, I want to show you how I want the animation to look like. And this is how the animation would look like. So just to manage your expectations, this is what it will look like, and we'll try to recreate that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put a keyframe on a position here. And at the end, one more position. And I'm just gonna put one in the middle. So let me just go through my rationale and my process. At the start, I put a keyframe here and it should touch the character. because it should bounce off the character. I'm just going to put this here. And then it should go up. And then it should come back down. I'm just going to copy this keyframe at the start. I'm just going to paste it at the end. So here we go. This is what it would look like. At hindsight, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty all right. But I'm just going to add a bit of easing, which is one of the animation principle which I've named. And how do I do that is I'm going to select all the keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, and easy ease. And then I'm going to go here on the graph editor. I'm just going to, what this does is basically give your animation a bit more real-time effect. So this is where I stopped. So the animation here looks pretty all right, but I'm just going to go in deeper into the graph editor and adjust the graph like this. Let me just explain to you why. So at the start here, this is at 0 speed. That means it's at the lowest in terms of physics, and then it goes up fast, and then it goes up here. So if you know physics, it should get suspended in the air for a while before it actually gains inertia back down, and then it comes back to the starting point. So if we play the animation now, yeah, that looks pretty all right. I like the way it looks so far, but I'm just going to add another principle from Disney, which is squash and stretch. What that does is basically give a little bit more life and exaggeration to your animation. So I'm just going to create another keyframe here on this scale. Again, I'm going to create one at the center. I'm just going to follow the keyframes here. So at the start, when it lands on the green bulb, I'm going to squash it. So that looks okay. And then at the start and when it suspends, that's where it gets suspended on top of the air. That retains its original shape. And when it comes back down, I'm going to copy the first keyframe and paste it back here. So it's gets squashed again. So let's play that. Right. Let's just squish it now. So if you know animation, squash and stretch gives an impression of speed. So when it gets pulled up here, I'm going to go around this in between these two keyframes, and I'm going to go back to 51, and I'm going to squash it. So this gives the impression that there is speed when it goes up. And I'm going to copy this and find the center point between these two and paste it here. Yeah, so that looks pretty cool. I'm going to then apply easy ease on these keyframes as well. And go to the graph editor. Here. So this is what I'll again explain. It's 0 at the start, and then it goes fast and comes down slow, and then it goes back fast and then back down slow. So I'm going to adjust the keyframes here a little bit. I'm just going to push this here and here. Yeah, do note that whenever you set a keyframe, you feel free to move your keyframes around. Because when you play with a graph editor, you won't be quite sure of the timing. So moving your keyframes will help make things look a bit better. And I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not sure about you, but I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. And I'm going to save this, and I want to export this as a JSON file right now. So before I export this with the LottieFiles After Effects plugin, where's my window? Here it is. before, how do we even get this plugin? You can go to LottieFiles. You can Google LottieFiles After Effects plugin, and you'll be directed to this site. And here you can actually just download the plugin and then install it straight, and it should come out in your your window extension here. And there's LottieFiles. Another way you can do is also go to the Creative Suite, Adobe's Creative Cloud, and download the extension from there. So I'm just going to search for the animation because my project title is called animation. Here it is. The good thing about LottieFiles plugin is that you're able to preview the animation before exporting. And that looks cool. The latest update to the plugin allows you to check for any issues, potential issues if you have before exporting. So this checks everything out and it's good for an upload. So I'm going to upload this straight to my private animations. I've already uploaded it, so I'm just going to upload it. It will take a while. So yeah, that's all good. It's uploaded. I'm gonna go straight here, and here it is. Here is the animation. So to me, that looks good, right? So Kelly's process says that feedback is important. So I'm just gonna send this to Kelly. I'm gonna share this, enable link sharing, copy, and send it straight to Kelly. And I've already sent this to Kelly. So Kelly, she has graciously left some comments as usual. And how do we comment? So if you click the comment icon here, these are the comments she has left. So there are a few ways to leave a comment on our LottieFiles workflow. Here, one on the playback timeline, and you can also leave a comment on the graphics itself. So Kelly has dropped 2 comments. So if I click here, can we make the balls slightly bigger? There's no pleasing her, right? There's no pleasing your clients. But that's all joke. We respect our clients. So I'm just going to reply, and I'm going to tag Kelly. No, I'm not making it bigger. And then at this other comment, she says, this looks amazing. And then I'm going to reply and say to Kelly, thanks. I know. Okay, cool. So that's how you reply a comment, and that's how you leave a comment. I'm just going to leave a comment for my future reference and say, Adrian, I want the eyes bigger. Yeah, so that's how you leave a comment, and all the comments are listed down here. And that's pretty intuitive because LottieFiles, in LottieFiles, we are full remote, and a collaborative work style is very important to us. So we use cloud-based platforms like Figma, and now we have LottieFiles, which you can comment and ship straight to your clients and such. So this is really important to us. And with that being said, I'm going to end my live demo, and I'm going back here. Yeah, so this is basically my inspiration. It's important to get inspired, especially if you're starting off fresh, or even if you're not fresh and you're seasoned, you're like a veteran in design. It's good to always be inspired. A note of advice for those who are starting off is get inspired as wide as you can. Do not narrow yourself down to a specific style or preference, but get inspired as big as you can. And in due time, you'll be drawn to a specific style, and you will gravitate towards that style later on. So here I have a few motion designers that I admire: Emma Colombo, DK, Ordinary Folk, and Mo Studios. These are some of the, I'm pretty sure if you're familiar with the motion space, these are the people who are pretty well established. If I go to the next slide here, I have a video, another video. We want to finish this session off on a high note. So as creators, myself and Kelly and the LottieFiles team, we know how tedious and painful it can be sometimes to create something that we are proud of and share it to the world. So we want to thank present and future creators for contributing to this industry that we so love. Thank you. Enjoy the video.
Sorry, Adrian, there's no sound.
Is there no sound?
No.
Okay. Just give me a few moments.
Oh, try resharing and click on enable sound.
Okay, share sound.
Here's to the designers who always push the limits. Using the universal language of joy. Refining, perfecting, and animating. Frame by frame. To create magic with every touch. Here's to the artists who evoke emotions and narrate beautiful stories, bringing life to still art. So, thank you for connecting us all through the language of motion. Here's to the next revolution in design. Think motion. Think LottieFiles.
Once again, we want to thank you, present, future creators who have tirelessly and with a lot of patience and endurance contributed to this industry. And with that, I just want to say, let's start the next revolution in design with motion together. I would say this is the end, but it's not. All right, guys, class is in session. What does this mean? As Kelly has mentioned, we all designers, we love free gifts, and we have a few freebies to give out, specifically 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to quiz you, and those who answers the quiz first at the chat box, I will need our moderators, Grace and Kelly, to sort of take a look at who answers first, and then we can give you the freebie. What is the freebie? We have it's basically a free subscription to Icon Scout. Icon Scout is a I'm just going to show you what it is. Icon Scout is basically an asset site that gives you 3D illustration, Lottie animations, illustration, and vector icons. All this will be for you free for a year, and those who answer first will get an access to this. So I'm gonna ask the first question, which I will name it out on the chat. Okay, first question is, in our design process, which Kelly has mentioned, and I have listed down, what is the step before vectorizing? Woo! Well, I see it.
Wow, you guys are fast.
Yeah. I realized that I put the answer in the question itself. So that was a big boo-boo. But I just want to congratulate, I think it's Felicia Liu. Congratulations, you get 1 year access to Icon Scout. Please DM Joey Pang. Joey, if you can just note it on the chat, and we will get you in touch. The next question. Name one animation principle by Disney. Very fast, very fast. Very good, very good. I believe here the winner is Zach. So Zach, congratulations. And I'm going to go on to the next and final question. So keyboard warriors, be ready. Who did we quote in our presentation? Whew. I'm not sure how do we do this. Do I go with the complete answer, or Walt would just be all right, or Disney should be all right? I don't know. Should I I'm just gonna give it to CE, right? CE, congratulations. Please contact Joey. I think she should be there. She'll send your emails to Joey, and she'll get in touch with you, and you'll get a free 1-year subscription to Icon Scout. With that being said, I want to thank everybody, thank Design Buddies for this opportunity to share what we are truly passionate about, which is to bring motion in every screen in the world, and that's all from Kelly and I. Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you. That was great. We'll hop into our question Q&A session now for the last 11 minutes, and then we'll do a quick group photo. And feel free to connect with Adrian and Kelly, as well as Jolie on social media as well, and LottieFiles. So feel free to let us know if you have any questions in the chat. I saw a question earlier. It's, what are some other animation software? I know After Effects is one. Is there any others you would recommend to any two people here?
Yes, there are many. The industry is growing. You can use Adobe Animate if you're subscribed to the current Creative Cloud. Adobe Animate, even Photoshop allows you to do frame-by-frame animation. On the iPad, you can use Procreate, that gives you frame-by-frame animation as well. You can use other platforms like Rive, Flutter, and all these gives you basically a preview to what animation will be. I recommend After Effects because After Effects, it's pretty much industry standard, and you have access to a lot of plugins, which can be free and which some are paid. Yes.
Yeah, definitely post an After Effects of the plugins and stuff too. Cool. Any other questions in the chat? Feel free to drop. Oh, Jason asked, any tips for file prepping / organization for Figma? So the Figma to Adobe After Effects.
Really good question. Should I take this, Kelly, or should you?
Yeah, you can take this.
All right. Okay. Let me just whip up my Figma for a bit. And give me 1 minute. Okay. I've gotta share my screen again. All right, so here is my Figma file. I'm just going to show you one random design that we have. Oh, it's loading. Okay. What I do is in Figma, it's important to name your layers, as Kelly has mentioned. So layers like this. So this is what we are seeing here. I'm going to name this face underscore yellow. And then this is yellow monster. And then there's the polygon green triangle. Oops. Green triangle. Name this as green triangle 2. And then there's the blue square. So naming this would help you later in your motion design process. What plugins I use on Figma to After Effects is basically this plugin called AEUX, which imports whatever design you have selected into AE. I'm just going to do a simple import here. First, I've got to create a composition in After Effects. I'm just going to use the same settings and send this selection to After Effects. So there you go. Do note that in AEUX, you do tend to get some glitches. So you just gotta manually adjust those later. So here, it's actually separated by controllers, so null controllers. But what I want, I'm just gonna undo this. What I want is basically to, sorry, I'm switching back and forth. But in my AEUX plugin here, what I want to do is select pre-com groups. So what it does is that when I send this to AE, it creates a pre-com for me. So now it looks a lot neater, and I can just straight away start animating. So that is pretty straightforward. What I like to do is also create folders on my After Effects project panel. Here you can see audio, composition, footage, miscellaneous for any miscellaneous files, solids, which are automatically created when you create a solid, and sources, which would house my PNGs, my JPEGs and stuff, which also would house my solids actually. So that's the best I could show you in terms of file organization. It's good to have a clean, organized file. I told my team to actually repeat after me and say, a clean, organized file is a clean workspace. So if you want to repeat that after me, feel free to do so. A clean, organized file system is a clean, organized workspace. Okay, I hope I answered your question, and thank you.
Awesome, that was great. Thanks for the examples. I'm going to take a few more questions. I'm going to go fast, and feel free to turn on your camera if you want to be in our group photo soon. Oh, there's some about, oh, Victoria asked a great question. I feel like this resonates with a lot of people in Design Buddies is, how do you make the jump from practicing your skills to feeling ready to take real-world work for other people, especially paid work? I guess it's more general, but I feel like it applies to a lot of people here.
Maybe I'll pass this to Kelly.
I think even if you're just starting out, don't feel afraid to just take up any paid work, because paid work is practice essentially. But it's always good to always manage your client's expectations. Just let them know that, you know, you're still new at this and this is what you can do, and maybe you can explore new things as you go along the way. So just manage expectations, and I think you're good to go.
Awesome. One last question is, yeah, I agree. Like, just start. You don't need anyone's permission. Just start. Get paid, everyone. And last question is, where do y'all find your inspirations for motion design? Kind of relates to Megan's question, what makes motion design highly creative, or where do y'all get your inspiration from?
Sorry, the question is, where do we get our inspirations from?
Mm-hmm.
So I get inspired mainly in Instagram, because a lot of people post their work on social media. So Instagram is my to-go. Other than that would be Dribbble and Behance. These are the two places I get my inspirations from. Long form content will be Vimeo and YouTube. Vimeo, especially, I don't know why motion designers post their stuff on Vimeo, but Vimeo will give you a lot of resources and inspiration.